Hey guys, and how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. What we got here today is a Singer 301. I just picked this one up last week. The gentleman I got it from, it was down in a basement, hadn't been used in years. When you went to turn the hand wheel here, it was just really tight. And when you get a machine like this, if it hasn't been used for quite a while, don't just plug it in and put power to it. You should really just kind of check things over by hand first. So let me show you the first thing I looked at, because it was turning over so tight. So what I did was I removed the foot from the sewing machine, and I removed the two screws that hold on the needle plate, because this has the same hook and bobbin case as the Singer Featherweight, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to break anything down here. And let me remove this. That's the bobbin case. Down in here there's a little hook that catches the bottom of the needle plate, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to break anything. This was turning over that hard. So I started spinning that, and that lets the whole hook just spin freely once this plate, the needle plate, is off. Well, and that made it a little bit better. And then let me show you what else I looked at. Here we are over at the hand wheel. If a machine is really tight and it's a 301 like this is the first thing I should have done. But I kind of didn't think of this right away. Take off the thumb screw here. I have to loosen this one screw, just back it off so you can turn this around and around. It's a little bit different. It's threaded on there quite a ways. And then just ease out there'll be this black part that's the locking collar. And then this has the same drive mechanism as the 201 with the geared tooth. Okay, so by taking this out, what I've just done is I've completely disengaged the drive of the whole drive of the sewing machine from the motor. Let me see if I can tip this. You'll see the gear of the motor. Let me run up let me just run the exposure way up here. Alright, that's pretty almost blown out. You can see the drive gear of the motor. The motor in this one sits vertically in the machine. So what I've just done is I've disengaged all the mechanics from the motor. Now what I'll do is as long as the cords look good on my power cord and my foot pedal cord, I'll plug it in, and I'm going to run the machine just to see if there's something going on with the motor, that it's running really slow and has a problem, before I go any further. Okay, what you can see now is the drive gear. I've zoomed in on the drive gear coming out of the motor inside the machine, and I've got it plugged in. My cords are in good shape. So I'm just going ahead and running the motor. Okay, the motor is running up to full speed. It might sound a little bit louder than normal because this is like a little echo chamber in here, and I am in a room that has an echo anyway. But at least I know my motor is in good shape. So now what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and take off all the covers, the top cover, the bottom cover, and just look everything over and then thoroughly oil the machine. When you take off the top cover, it's just going to be two quick screws on this top cover. One here and one, oops, my magnetic screwdriver. Two screws, and the cover will come right off. And you can see the holes in the top here. See how they have these little wicks? These are absolutely dry. That's where the oil would drip down onto the parts that need oil. And I already put some oil on this prior to starting this video. I was just trying to analyze the machine to see if it's worth making a video. And this was totally dry. So you're going to want to put oil in the hole, this hole right here on this shaft, another hole here, this gear. put some here, you'll see another oiling hole here, and you'll even gonna see the top of the take-up lever here needs oil. So I went ahead and oiled all that. Now what we're looking at here is the bottom cover of the machine. That's just going to be a little thumb screw right here. Just remove that. The piece of felt if it's still there. This machine is the serial number, so we might as well mention that while we're over here. If you think you don't know what year it is and you can't find the serial number, it's right there on the machine. And this one just says NA and then a 6-digit number. Well, NA will just date it to the 1950s. It's either going to be somewhere between 1951 and 1959. That's probably as close as you're going to get. And let me just point out here, you should buy the appropriate grease. It's grease that either Singer grease, or there's a Featherweight place that sells good grease. I think it's called the Featherweight Shop. I actually bought a tube of grease for them a few years ago. That will go in this port here, and then that'll lubricate this shaft of the motor. And then all the other points that you want to go ahead and just use regular sewing machine oil on. You've got one here on this pin right here. This lever comes down from the top. Oil that. Pin here, a pin here, another lever right here. There's actually a hole in it. And we've got these gears we want to oil, and this shaft here. And this is just a straight stitch sewing machine, just like a Featherweight, so a lot of this is going to look familiar to anyone with a Featherweight as far as where you need to hit these oiling points. And once I did oil this bottom properly, the top properly, and I did put a drop of oil on that shaft coming out of the motor on the top and spun it over by hand a few times, it started to loosen up. And then I'll show you the other spot you'll have to oil. Here we are on the right side of the machine where the cover is for the needle bar, and you can actually pick this up. There's 2 pins that go into holes. Just be really careful so you don't break those pins. And let's boost up the exposure here again so we can. You want to oil the needle bar, that's right here. Oil this bar here, that's for your presser foot. And then you're going to see all these, ooh, I'm blocking the light. You're going to see all these normal points on these shafts here going around. You got to get around to the hand wheel. Okay, wherever there's a pivot point there, just go ahead and oil that. This pretty much looks like the inside of a Featherweight. Should be pretty easy to figure out. But I've got this now after oiling and letting it sit overnight. Turning this over now with just 2 fingers. It's really what a difference the oiling will make if something's been sitting for years and hasn't been oiled. Let me quickly show you the power cords for the 301 and how they work. It's actually a 2-part system for the 301. You'll have a foot pedal that looks like about every other Singer foot pedal, and then there's going to be a 2-prong plug-in like this that's going to go, get my hand out of the way, right in here. There's 2 prongs where you plug it in under the deck of the machine, and the other part is going to be a power cord, and that will look just like this here with the 3 holes, and it'll go right onto here. So your power will be coming in here, and you'll just plug that into the wall unit at your house, and the foot pedal control will be going in down here. Well, that was just a quick overview of what you should look for if you're buying a vintage sewing machine. Definitely check those cords before you plug it in. If it's turning over, it really seems like it's stiff and turns over kind of hard. Make sure you oil everything up good before you try to use it. Let that oil sit overnight if you can. It'll make a big difference the next day when you go to try it again. And Yeah, I've got to find that screw I dropped earlier. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and it helps out the channel and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. That's it.